Tejada and I had a plan and a location. We just needed to get our hands on the money. We had recently had some issues with the Lost Motorcycle Club. Issues that we tried to remedy. Tejada and I made our way to the Tequila La La Club. We were supposed to be meeting up with a few of their guys. It turned out to be a fucking ambush. I don't exactly remember all of the details. I took a few good shots that night. But Giovanni told me if I took any more stitches, I was going to be Los Santos' version of fucking Frankenstein around here. Forget about it. Thankfully, no one had pulled any iron and started blasting. These guys had broken bottles, broken pool sticks. I mean, they was out for blood. So me and Tejada gave them the old classic 1-2 like Papa taught me, you know? A couple of times throughout the fight, Tejada and I got knocked down. But we got back up and we gave it to these fucking guys. It wasn't the best move on these guys' parts to try to jump us. Especially since we had the info on some goods they were holding out in Stab City. I think it was time to pay these fucking jagaloons a visit. This was the day, the de facto moment that set the tone for the next year with these fucking guys. After the assault on Stab City, it was all out war with these fucks. But we'll get more into that down the road. We played it real close on the approach. We didn't want these guys knowing anything was happening until it was too late. Now, I know there's an old saying about omelets and cracking eggs. I don't know that much about cooking, but I do know one thing. If you're going to try to start up a business in a new territory, I mean, you gotta off a couple of competitors. Just how it is. I figured the rest of the fucking Lost Motorcycle Club would show up before Tejada ever got that damn safe open, but we finally got into it and got the goods. It was a nice little payoff. Some good dope to get us started in our business. We got out of there as quick as possible. We still had other work to do. Now, a guy that worked for Martin Madrazo had the lowdown on a crew hitting a fleeca out in the country. He wasn't too happy with these guys. He felt like they had skimped him on one of their jobs, so he sent us out in their direction. Figured we'd interrupt their little heist and take their spoils for ourselves. When we got there, it was a fucking bloodbath. They had a guy in a full-on armor suit. He had already worked his way through a bunch of cops. There really wasn't much for us to do once we got there. Thought it was an easy payout. I only caught a glimpse of it, but I tell you, one of the funniest goddamn things that's happened since I've been in this city, I saw Tejada get taken out by a fucking pickup truck. I was scared there for a moment. When I noticed he got back up, I swear to God, I nearly shit my pants. I was laughing so hard. We still talk about that shit from time to time. It was funny. We got out of there as quick as possible. We had to chill out for a bit and lose the cops, but we eventually did. We made our way to meet up with Martin's guy. Now, Martin was aware of what we were getting into, so you can say that we were starting our new business up with the cartel's blessing. It was nice having friends right out the gate. Our first location. This is where it all started. Well, it didn't look like much and there wasn't a lot here. There was something here in abundance, and that was possibilities. We had the groundwork for our business. We had our location. We just needed to get this bitch filled with employees and product. I laid it out for Arthur. Whole business plan on how we're going to get this bitch built up. First thing though, is we needed to shake up the market a bit, aka knock off some competition. I will admit, Mr. Madrazo was leaving us a few care packages in the early days. He wanted to see us succeed, and I can admire that in a man, especially in a business like this and us not being connected with his organization. But he doesn't forget who helped him out. Slowly but surely, our first lab was coming together. It was going to take a lot of work, and we still needed employees, we still needed guards and security and all that good shit. But it was coming together, and that was the important thing. And not everything we needed we could get from Martin. There were a few chemicals and a few pieces of equipment that we could only get from a certain source, and get it from them a certain way. But we did what we had to do. Now, if you told me it wasn't Christmas, I would have called you a fucking liar. Because when we got back to the spot with those humane lab trucks, Martin had a van there waiting for us, filled with workers. He had brought them from one of the islands south of Los Santos. And like that, we had our first lab up and going. The product we had got from the Lost, the chemicals and equipment from the humane labs trucks, the care packages from Martin, hired a couple of guys for security, and like that, me and Tejada were in business. Over the next few days, Arthur and I made a few purchases, upgraded the lab a little bit. It still needed some work, but our business was up and going. Now, it was time to find customers and to move this shit. Now, there were a lot of gangs in this town. Motorcycle clubs, street gangs, other crime families, you name it. We just had to go out there and scrounge up some business with these people. I appreciate you watching. Road to the Oath is brought to you by Smokes Leone and Zeno Leone.